It is with profound reverence and heartfelt joy that we gather today at Holy Isipatana, Sarnath, the sacred land where the Blessed One, the Buddha, set in motion the Dhammacakra, the wheel of the Supreme Dhamma for the welfare and happiness of the many. Bahujana Hitaya, Bahujana Sukhaya, Lokanukampaya. This hallowed site stands as a timeless witness to the Buddha's first discourse, the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutra, through which the path of liberation, the middle way, was revealed to the world. From this very soil, the light of wisdom radiated across centuries and civilizations, guiding countless beings towards insight, compassion, and freedom from suffering. We are deeply honored to commemorate the sacred Dhammacakka Puja 2026, a week-long observance dedicated to contemplation, practice, and living engagement with the Buddha Dharma. Organized by the International Dhammacakka Puja Committee under the auspices of the Mahabodhi Society of India, Sarnath, the sacred program brings together devotion and discipline, learning and meditation, ritual and reflection. This inaugural ceremony at the Muladanda Kuchivihara marks not merely the beginning of the program, but the renewal of an ancient spiritual continuity, one that connects the Buddha's first sermons to our present aspiration for wisdom, harmony, and inner peace in a troubled world. May this sacred Dhammacakka Puja inspire right view, right intention, and compassionate action. May the blessings of the Triple Gem illuminate our minds and hearts, and may the Dhamma continue to turn here at Sarnath and throughout the world. With these thoughts, I humbly invite you all to participate mindfully and wholeheartedly in this inaugural ceremony of the sacred Dhammacakka Puja 2026. We are honored to have as guests recalling, as chief guest we have our Excellency Mansini Pulu, the High Commissioner of Sri Lanka in India, New Delhi. As a chief guest, as a special guest, we have Venerable Professor Wangchuk Dorje, the Vice Chancellor, Central Institute of Higher Tibetan Studies, Sarnath, Shri Dinesh Kumar, Joint Director, Uttar Pradesh Tourism Department, Shri Sanjay Singh, Deputy Superintendent, Archaeologist of the Sarnath Center, Sarnath. We also may have from Vietnam, Venerable Queen Jinu Leong and Mrs. Chao Tu Kong Thao from Vietnam, both guests, benefactors, and relatives for the Mahabodhi Society of India and for the cause of the Buddhism and art. We also have with us the most venerable Abdhamma Sadhamma, Ajapati Bhaja, Vanagar Mahathero, the High Priest of the Myanmar Buddhist Temple, Sarla, for being elected. He is being elected as the President of the Myanmar Bhikkhu Sangha of India. Also present with us, we have Mr. Dante Dorje, retired IAS from Sikkim, former Secretary of the Bodh Temple Management Committee. We also have Mr. Khandu Wangchuk Bhutia from Sikkim, a recipient of the 2022 Padma Shri Award from the Government of India. Commencing this Dhammacakka Puja 2026, I would invite our distinguished guests to please light the ceremonial lamp and inaugurate this Dhammacakka Puja 2026. I invite Venerable P.C. Velikero, the General Secretary of the Society, to please guide in lighting the ceremonial lamp. Leading for lighting, we have Venerable K. Sumitanandaji, the Bhikkhu in charge of the Sarnath Center of the Mahabodhi Society of India. Lighting of the ceremonial lamp, followed by the Jaya Mangala Gatha. Welcoming our chief guest, I would invite Venerable P.C. Vanikero, the General Secretary of the Mahamoti Society of India, to please welcome our chief guest, Her Excellency Mahisi Nicolo, the High Commissioner of Sri Lanka in India. Welcoming our guest, Venerable Professor Ramchukwu Jimmy, the Vice Chancellor, Central Institute of Higher Tibetan Studies, Sarnath. Sri Dinesh Kumar, the Joint Director, Uttar Pradesh Tourism Department. Sri Sanjay Singh, Deputy Superintendent, Archaeologist, ASI Sarnath Circle, Sarnath. Mr. Namzi Dorje, retired IS from Sikkim, former Secretary of the Bodh Temple Management Committee. Mr. Khandu Vamshat Bhutia from Sikkim, recipient of the 2022 Padma Shri Award from the Government of India. Venerable Hikuri Kim Livong and Mrs. Joan Thi Phuong Thao from Vietnam, the benefactors and managers of the Mahabodhi Society of India.
जगह नहीं कार्यक्रम बाहर होना चाहिए।
the most venerable Atta Mahasadharma Jyotirajaya Vanadaji Mahathero, the high priest of the Myanmar Buddhist temple Sarna, for being elected as the president of the Myanmar Buddhist Sangha of India. The Venerable Bhikkhu Sangha and Venerable Lamas from different monasteries of Sarnath will now offer their reverence to the Buddha by offering khala on behalf of the Dhammatakka Puja Committee, followed by traditional salutation to the triple gems, Triratna Vandana in Pali, Tibetan and Vietnamese tradition. I would invite Venerable R. Sundarananda the Bhikkhu of the Society Sarnath Center, to please offer your reverence, followed by Venerable Dr. Kawa Kesari Sri, the High Priest of the Jambudika Sri Lanka Buddhist Vihara and President of the Indo-Sri Lanka International Buddhist Association. Venerable Sonam Yongdeng Guru, the High Priest of the Vajravidya Institute Sarnath. Venerable B. Chandima, the High Priest and President, Dhamma Learning Center Sarnath. Venerable Dr. D. L. Chan, the High Priest, Vietnamese Temple Sarnath. Venerable Mangaliko, the High Priest, Wat Thai Temple Sarnath. Venerable Bhikkhu Dhammasila, Sarnath Buddha Vihara Sarnath. Venerable Dr. Septek, High Priest, Cambodian Temple Sarnath. Venerable Sanghalu, the High Priest, Chinese Temple Sarnath. Venerable Nyanabala, the in charge Myanmar Buddhist Temple Sarnath. Venerable Nagaramsa, High Priest, Dhammatakka Meditation Buddha Vihara Sarnath. Venerable Sonam, High Priest, Chechen Gompa, Bhutan. Venerable Bhikkhu Dhammapriya, the High Priest, Mahakaruna Vihara. Venerable Tenzin, High Priest, Tibetan Temple Sarnath. Venerable Ashok Mitra, High Priest, Samrat Ashok Vihara Sarnath. Venerable Saranamal Bhikkhu, the High Priest, Bodhisattva Chakra Vihara Sarnath. Venerable Pandita, the High Priest, Majjhima Sukha Vihara Sarnath. Venerable Avijja, the High Priest, Visesha Buddha Vihara Sarnath. Venerable Kemananda, the High Priest, Myanmar Temple, Sigra. Venerable Nawang Kamphel, the representative Central Institute of Higher Tibetan Studies, Sarnath. गहन श्रद्धा हृदय देव से पेश आनंद उपजे आनंद के साथ नमाज पवित्र इसी कदम साधना में एकत्र हुए उस पुण्य भूमि पर जहाँ भगवान बुद्ध ने बहुत जन हिताया, बहुत जन सुखाया, लोकानुकंपाया, परम धर्म का चक्र धम्म चक्र प्रवर्तित किया था। ये पावन स्थान बुद्ध के प्रथम उपदेश धम्म चक्र प्रवर्तन सूत्र का शाश्वत साक्षी है, जिसके माध्यम से मुक्ति का मार्ग मध्यम मार्ग संसार के समस्त प्रकार प्रकट हुआ। इसी धरती से प्रज्ञा का प्रकाश सभी सभ्यताओं में प्रसारित हुआ, जिसने अंतर्दृष्टि करुणा और दुख से मुक्ति की दिशा में मार्गदर्शन किया। आज हमें पवित्र 2026 का शुभारंभ करते अत्यंत गौरव का अनुभव हो रहा है। यह एक सप्ताह तक चलने वाला ऐसा पावन अनुष्ठान है जो चेतन साधना और जीवन में धर्म के आचरण को समर्पित है। यह हमारी आध्यात्मिक परंपरा की निरंतरता को शुद्ध करता है। एक ऐसी कड़ी जो बुद्ध के प्रथम उपदेश को आज के हमारे ज्ञान सामंजस्य और शांत विश्व में आंतरिक शांति की आकांक्षा से जोड़ती है। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय धर्म चक्र पूजा समिति द्वारा महाबोधि सोसाइटी ऑफ इंडिया स्थापना के तत्वाधान में आयोजित ये पवित्र कार्यक्रम भक्ति और अनुशासन, अध्ययन और ध्यान, अनुष्ठान और आत्मचिंतन इन सबको एक साथ जोड़ता है। ये पवित्र धर्म चक्र पूजा समय दृष्टि, समय संकल्प और करुणामय कर्म की प्रेरणा प्रदान करे। निरंतर का आशीर्वाद हमारे मन और हृदय को आलंकित करे। Continuing with the inaugural ceremony of the Dhamma Chakra Puja 2026, I would now invite Venerable R. Sumitananda Thero, the people in charge of the Mahabodhi Society of India Sadhana Center, to please welcome the August gathering.
Namo Buddhaya, Charaka Bhikkhave, Charanam, Bauddha Vichaya, Bauddha Sukaya, Yoganathamaya. Glory, O peoples, and wonder of the Lord, for the gain of the many, for the welfare of the many, in compassion for the world. Most venerable Bhikshu Mahasangha, Bhikkhu Mahasangha, distinguished guests and devotees, today we have assembled here on this auspicious and historic moment of the occasion of the Dhammacakra Puja Saranath 2026, organized by the International Dhammacakra Puja Committee Saranath, which will start from today and continue till the 21st January. This organizing committee is representing the national and international monasteries and temples of Saranath and Varanasi. On behalf of the International Dhammacakra Puja Committee and the Mahabodhi Society of India, would like to welcome Her Excellency Mahasri Koleni, High Commissioner of the Sri Lanka India, as the chief guest on this occasion. As a special guest, we have among us Professor Wanchuk Dorji Negi, Vice Chancellor, Central Institute of High Tibetan Studies, Saranath, Sri Dinesh Kumar, Director, Uttar Pradesh Tourism, Dorji and former President Mahabodhi Society of India, Sri Dinesh Wilbur Ikuni, and Leo Lung and Mrs. Dong Thi Pong Tao from Vietnam, both great. significance of the Dhammacakka Buddha, the first sermon of the Buddha, and the land of the foundation of Buddhism, which I think is a very proper and relevant field. As Sarnath is known all over the world as the first preaching place of the Buddha and the birthplace of Buddhism, where the Buddha founded the Holy Sangha 2500 years ago. Our wonderful and venerable guest will speak on this subject on death. Therefore, without further delay, I once again present my deepest respect and welcome to Her Excellency, our distinguished guests, venerable monks and nuns, devotees, for coming here and making this occasion a memorable and relevant one, Bodhisattva Mangala.
I would now invite Venerable P.C. Mandiru, the Chief Monk and General Secretary of the Mahabodhi Society of India, to please introduce the week-long Dhammacakka Puja Sadhana 2026.
Namo. Namaskar. Most venerable Mahasana, representing different Buddhist traditions and representing various Buddhist countries. On behalf of International Dhammacakka Committee 2026, I would feel privileged and honored and humbled to speak a few words to discuss something about why we arrange this very holy event for 7 days. Her Excellency, Mrs. Colony, and the beloved Mother, so here we are very grateful to receive both of you for this very holy Isipatana Nigatame. And we have honorable guests from Tourist Department, and we are very thanks for your kind help from time to time to Mahabodhi these activities of Mahabodhi Society of India and the Sadhana in general for various tourist activities and other pilgrimages. And we have our honorable guest, Mr. Raji, former president of Mahabodhi Society of India and secretary of BTMC, and his brother present here. And I'm most heartily welcome, and also I'm great to have the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Negi Wanchuk, who is kindly accepted our invitation and always as a well-wisher of our society and extend his kind and respectful support to activities of the sadhana. And we have many guests here, our sponsors from Vietnam, Mrs. Tao, Ukraine, and other devotees. So, our people in charge of this sadhana center and the member of the International Dhammacakka Committee, Dr. Sumithanandi, already welcome you all. So I'm not going to welcome once again. I would like to brief we recall that Buddha's great enlightenment occurred at Bodh Gaya some 2,600 years ago. After Buddha attained supreme enlightenment, he decided to deliver his first teaching, first sermon, Sarma. Buddha was born at Bodh Gaya. Siddhartha was born in Loveni, Nepal. But Dhamma, his teaching was born here in very spot, Sarna. This is the place where Dhamma, the teaching of please keep silent. Silence, please. आप लोग शांति बना के रखें सामने। हमारे एनसीसी बच्चे सबको शांति कराएं उधर पीछे। So when naturally that is Dhamma was born here, Sarna. Not only Dhamma, then Buddha's teaching. After Buddha's teaching, 5 months, they listened, realized, and attained enlightenment. The first 5 months as bhikkhus. So Sangha was born here. Sangha Saranagacchami, Dhammam Saranagacchami. After that, the first Upasak and Upasika, first devotees of the Buddha, also they become devotees of the Buddha, this very holy place, Sarna. So when we come to our founder, when we think about, recall the past, some 130 years back, Anagarika Dhammapada, the founder of our society, came along when he was just 26 years old, young man. He came to Sarna. That time, the whole place was just deserted place. Nothing could be found, the trace of Buddha's teaching or Buddhism at all this country. He wrote in his diary, when I come to Sarna, hardly I find the inhabitants all around. There's no Buddhists here. And overnight he slept under the tree, banyan tree near the Jain temple. Alone, overnight he spent. There was no place at all. So at that time he decided, and he had the full conviction, determination to stay here for the sake of Dhamma, to stay here, to revive the holy places of the Buddha, to revive the Buddha's noble teaching once again. So with this great conviction and determination, he founded our Society of India 130 years back in this country. And with Mulaganta Vinar in 1931, brought Buddha's holy relics and kept here in 1931. Then he revived the Buddha's teaching, Buddhist culture, Buddhist tradition, once again. This lost more than 700 years. So now, there are many Buddhist countries, there are many Buddhist societies, in many places in India. So, there's so many Buddhist traditions, Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayana, different traditions. So, this Dhammacakka Puja is a very small, very humble program. Our contribution, little bit contribution to come together all the traditions under one umbrella, under the name of Dhammacakka Puja, because we all follow the Buddha. We have different traditions, we respect all the traditions. We we must respect our tradition and preserve. But we must come together to preserve the great teachings of the Buddha as the one that when it's become more strong, you can work together from different parties, maybe we are. So that is why we are here today. So this Dhamma Puja, I was thinking what to do, how to arrange for many years. So I discussed with Martin Chachi, Sultan and all the monasteries, and also I discussed with Martin Chandimaraj. So they both work hard, coordinate, communicate with all the monasteries around Bulgaria. And I'm so grateful to all the monasteries, and they are in one voice, they come together to support, to help. This is a great initiation, a great starting in spreading Buddha's teaching once again as the one voice. So this is the very simple introduction to this Dhammacakka Puja. And if you realize the Dhammacakka, the wheel of the universal law, what Jesus says 2,500 years before, this is still help us, encourage us, motivate and inspires all of us, not only born Buddhist, but nowadays in the worldwide, in many countries, whether it's West, Europe, East, or South, wherever Buddha's teaching every day improving and every day spreading far and wide without much effort. The message starts only with just 5 months from this very small village, Sarnath. Now, worldwide, if you think about over the years, past 2,500 years, all the world, the message of Buddha, the message of compassion, message of non-violence, the message of peace and wisdom is spreading every day throughout the world. So this is how actually we are here in Sarnath after 2,500. We are now in Sarnath. We are in the Buddha's place. We are in a very holy place. So let's this program continue in this next 7 days. So I request once again all the monasteries, all the Buddhist societies, and all the well-wishers of our various traditions here, Sarnath and Varanasi, support and come together. Let's do once again a message of peace to the world, the message of great compassion what our great master taught 2,500 years back. So this is actually now, if you just think about today's world, in many places, violence, fighting, discrimination, wars, bloodshed, unending and keep continuing. So sometimes think the humanity is destroyed by themselves. For lack of wisdom, for lack of human values, the humanity somehow is degrading. So it is our responsibility as monks, as Sangha, as the teachers, attain enlightenment, would ask them to go Charita Vikrame Charina. Bhajan Vikai, Bhajan Sukhai, Drupa. Gopals teach the Dhamma. For the welfare of the men, Bhajan Vikai, Bhajan Sukhai, welfare and happiness of all come from my house of compassion and mercy to the human beings. Go and teach this message of peace and compassion. It's beneficial to yourself, it's beneficial to all. So this, we, Sangha in Sadhana, have a great responsibility. The monasteries of Sadhana have a great responsibility to keep alive this place, keep alive this message, send this message once again to the world that with us, holy place, Sadhana is still very much alive, and we are still have our strength and our united force of Sangha to spread this message once again to the world. Buddha's message is not belong to Buddhists. Don't misunderstand that. Buddha's message is belongs to the humanity. It's not belong to just one country or one community. Not like that. We all need compassion. We all need peace. We all need happiness. We all need wisdom. This is the message of Buddha. It belongs to all. It belongs to the universe. It belongs to all the human beings. So let's all together, with this conviction to ourselves, bring this peace, the message of peace and compassion from this very holy place to the world, from this day, Dhammacakra Puja. Next 7 days, we are going to recite Dhammacakra in different traditions, in Pali, in Tibetan, in Vietnamese, in Burmese, and in different traditions. We are going to recite at the very holy place of Dhammapada School and also Bodhidharma Jihad. So I pray and hope this initiation of great Dhammacakra Puja will continue for many years. So once again, I'm very grateful to you all. I'm grateful to our honorable guests for the valuable time they spent to all the come the valuable time is very important to encourage this group, these valuable ones, so that they can continue this very auspicious program for the next 7 days and for coming years. So, with these 2 words, I just once again sincere gratitude and thanks to all the venerable Sangha, all the honorable guests, our guests, and our devotees, sponsors, and to all the devotees from various Buddhist societies and other traditions. Thank you, dear Lama, for organizing this program. Thank you so much.
I would now like to invite our distinguished guests joining us for this inaugural ceremony of the Dhammacakra Puja 2026. First of all, I would like to invite Your Excellency, Mahasi Nicolo, the High Commissioner of Sri Lanka in India.
venerable members of the Mahasangha, respected members of the International Dhamma Puja Committee, respected officials, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a profound honor for me to be here today in Sarna, a land blessed by wisdom, compassion, and the timeless message of Gautama Buddha. To be here, where the Dhamma was first shared with the world, is deeply moving, and it is a moment of deep reflection and humility. It was here in Rishipattan, in this sacred landscape, that Gautama Buddha delivered his first sermon and set in motion the Dhammacakra, the wheel of the Dhamma. That was a moment that marked not just the beginning of a teaching, but the foundation of a path, the middle way, rejecting extremes and offering a disciplined approach to understand the way of all things as they are, suffering, its causes, and its succession. This Dhammacakra Puja, therefore, commemorates far more than a historical event. As the Bhakti said, who spoke before me, it affirms a living philosophy that belongs to everyone, that is grounded in wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental cultivation. A teaching that is offered for the welfare and happiness of many, Bahujana Hidaya, Bahujana Sukhaya. For Sri Lanka, Sarnath holds a very deeply cherished resonance. The Dhamma that was proclaimed here traveled across regions and generations, taking firm root in our island more than 2 millennia ago and shaping our civilization and our culture. Through centuries of monastic tradition, scholarship, and lay practice, Sri Lanka has sought to preserve this teaching and share it with the world, always mindful that Dhamma is not a relic of the past, but a guide for right living in every age. In years of colonialism and after, Sri Lankans, including Anuradhaka Dhammapada, played a role in the revival and protection of sacred Buddhist sites, including this very Sarnath, so that these places remain centers of living practice, reflection, and peace for the world. In today's world, humanity faces challenges that are not only social and political, but also deeply existential, from conflict and anxiety to climate change and environmental degradation. The Buddha's first teaching reminds us that suffering arises from imbalance, from excess, from unchecked craving, from lack of understanding of reality, and from a failure to recognize our deep interdependence with one another and with the natural world. The middle way offers a path of mindful living that respects, limits, values, restraint, and recognizes the intrinsic worth of all life. In this sense, compassion in the Dhamma extends beyond human relationships to include all sentient beings and the planet that we all share. As the Dhammacakra continues to turn, it calls upon us to cultivate wisdom and responsibility, not only for ourselves, but for future generations and the wider web of life. I'm deeply grateful to the Marble Society of India and the International Dhammacakra Puja Committee, the representatives of the Sarnath Buddhist Monastic Circle, Buddhist Society and organizations of Uttar Pradesh, all the collaborating institutions and the Venerable Mahasanghas for their dedication in organizing this sacred observance at the very birthplace of the Buddha's teaching and for inviting me to be a part of this sacred observance. I wish everyone strength to continue this puja for the next 7 days and to keep doing it for years to come. May the turning of the Dhammacakra at Sarnath continue to inspire clarity of mind, compassion of heart, and harmony among peoples, nations, and all living beings. Bhagavad Sarvamakulam. Thank you. Dhanyavad.
Signifying the Dhammacakra Buddha 2026, the first sermon of the Buddha, and the land of the foundation of Buddhism, I would now like to invite Venerable Professor Wangchuk Dorje Negi, the Vice Chancellor, Central Institute of Higher Tibetan Studies, Sarnath, to please bless the solemn gathering.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Most respected Bhikshu Mahasangha, Your Excellency, Commissioner Sri Lanka, distinguished guests, Upasak and Upasaka, I would like to thank to introduce Dhammacakra Puja Association to giving me opportunity to share few words in front of you regarding Dhammacakra. What is Dhamma? The meaning of Dhamma is rule of meditation. What is rule of meditation? Actually, according to Buddhism, there is nothing which is infinite or exists by its form. Everything is interdependent. Everything is interdependent. There is nothing inherent existence. Okay, example for person. When we call person, what is person? Person is of course 5 aggregates. Sangha, Jnana, Sanskara, and so on. Actually, the person is conceived by 5 elements. Either we can say person is made of matter and mind. In order to get genuine happiness, we need to emphasize on both parts, matter and mind. The requirement of body is its own. We need roti, kapra, we need flesh, we need shelter, we need minerals, we need many things to maintain our physical body. We need yoga, exercise, and so on. We need our body. Likewise, in order to be fit of mind, we need to practice healing, samadhi, and practice. Without which, we cannot get genuine happiness. What we want is to adopt that we need to exercise more. What is whole worship is? Of course, whole worship is to know the reality of our existence. Sometimes we use I, we use very, self or egoistic way. We do everything through the self-centered attitude. I used to say to students, when you think I, pure mountain. If there was no oxygen, is it possible for you to exist? You know? Likewise, if there is no space, there is no earth, there is no sun rays, there is no high element, how we can exist? How we can live? So we are all very much interdependent. This way we need to understand. For example, beautiful this Bihar is constructed by poor labor and controlled by many people, without which there is no existence of this. So we need to think of the other kindness. Whenever we see each other, we need to think of the kindness of the other. Because our existence depends on the other. If there was no other, there is no existence of ourselves. So that when coordination was it's very important to go in this contemporary mode. We are not dependent on each other. This is what we are. And secondly, whatever arises from cause and condition is perishable, changeable, disintegrable, informed. There is no existence. There is no founding stuff. This was the thing about it. If we are it's true. Whether it is unfounded, changing, perishable, and everything is independent of it. Then definitely this can help us to live with joy and peace. With this, again, probably to organize a team, you have, organized very beautiful, to bring same platform. We need this is the demand of the contemporary society or world, very important. In fact, we are all same, we are all same. We follow same teacher. Doesn't matter what kind of role here I am really, but we all follow Chaturanga. We take reducing Buddha down and Sangha we all. We are very wide, we are all there, and same process of becoming monk is same. We change our hair, we change our clothes, we change our this is same with all, community, all things. But some difficulty what I find, because of our language barrier, we think that we are different. Because we do not ever to understand each other because of the language barrier. If you understand each other, we talk saying all of us, case for interdependent coordination, and one and one or that what to say, whatever, so this what we need to go there, say, follow, so if this is that, actually, understanding, we have to come society. And another thing, I would like to emphasize, moving and living, both are very important, to develop the laymen and monks are like paddle, two paddles of cycle, without which we cannot move further. Faster and faster, the always are. Very much, not important. there was no Ashoka. I want to Buddhism there. The contribution of Buddhism is Ashoka and Ajahn. I will say. So therefore, we don't need to respect to the religion very much. Like we respect monks, same I think we need to respect honor to the honor. If we do that, then religion it is
I would love now to invite Mr. Dinesh Kumar, the Joint Director, Uttar Pradesh Tourism Department.
International Non-Flight Tourism Committee Sarnath, Mahabodhi Society of India, सारनाथ के सभी मॉनेस्ट्रीज के उपस्थित चीफ प्रीस्ट एंड मॉन्क्स, Her Excellency the High Commissioner of Civil Defense to India, VC Sir, Tibetan University. आज बहुत ही हर्ष विषय है कि इंटरनेशनल धम्म चक्र पूजा कमेटी सारनाथ द्वारा भगवान बुद्ध की इस धरती पर धम्म चक्र पूजा 7 दिवस के लिए आरंभ करने जा रहे हैं। मैं सभी लोगों का यूपी गवर्नमेंट और गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया की ओर से बहुत बहुत आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ। सारनाथ ऐसी धरती है जहाँ पर भगवान बुद्ध ने बोध ज्ञान प्राप्त करने के बाद यहाँ पर सबसे पहले धर्म उपदेश दिया, जिसको दृष्टि के ब्रह्मचर्य प्रवर्तन के नाम से जाना गया। वैसे हम सभी लोग जानते हैं कि उत्तर प्रदेश एक ऐसा स्टेट है जहाँ पर सबसे अधिक भगवान बुद्ध से जुड़े हुए हमारे होली प्लेसेस हैं, जैसे कि सारनाथ, जहाँ पर भगवान बुद्ध ने अपना धर्म उपदेश दिया। कपिलवस्तु, जहाँ पर भगवान बुद्ध ने अपने जीवन के 29 years, early 29 years, वहाँ पर उन्होंने एज ए प्रिंस उन्होंने व्यतीत किए। श्रावस्ती, जहाँ पर भगवान बुद्ध ने 25 रेनी सीजन्स वहाँ पर अपने गुजारे। साथ ही कुशीनगर, जहाँ पर भगवान बुद्ध का वहाँ पर निर्माण हुआ। ये सारे प्लेसेस आज उत्तर प्रदेश स्टेट में है, उत्तर प्रदेश प्रोविंस में है। एंड उत्तर प्रदेश गवर्नमेंट एंड गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया बोथ आर वेरी सीरियस टू डेवलप other facilities related to these holy places. उत्तर प्रदेश गवर्नमेंट ने को डेवलप करने के लिए एक हम लोगों ने अलग से बजट को भी प्रोविजन किया है कि पर्टिकुलर जो बुद्धिस्ट साइट्स हैं उनके डेवलपमेंट के लिए हम एक बजट उसमें हम लोगों ने रिजर्व किया हुआ है और हर साल उसमें हम लोग काम करते हैं, उसी पर हम लोग काम करते हैं। यूपी गवर्नमेंट और गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया दोनों ने यहाँ के सभी मॉनेस्ट्रीज के सभी मॉन्क्स लोग जैसा कि जानते हैं कि हमारी सरकार ने कोशिश किया है कि हम सारनाथ को यूनेस्को वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज साइट में सम्मिलित कराने के लिए इस बात हम लोग कोशिश कर रहे हैं। और यहाँ पर आईओमास की टीम ने भी एक बहुत ही जल्दी विजिट किया है और भी हम सारनाथ को वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज साइट को टेबल में डिक्लेयर कराने के लिए इसी जून तक हम लोग सक्सेस होंगे। हम देश के देश आए हुए वहाँ के प्रेसिडेंट्स हम सभी लोगों को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देते हैं और हम सभी लोगों का इस सारनाथ की पवित्र धरती पर स्वागत करते हैं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
appreciation and thanks, we would now like to present mementos to our distinguished guests. Before we present mementos, I would invite Venerable P.C. Valitero to do the honors. I would invite Your Excellency, Mahisi Nicolò, the High Commissioner of Sri Lanka. We would invite the most venerable Akka Mahamsa Dhamma Jyotirabhadra Vanaraj Mahape, the High Priest of the Myanmar Buddhist Temple, to please receive mementos by the International Dhamma Committee. Presentation of mementos to Your Excellency, the High Commissioner of Sri Lanka in India. Presentation of mementos to Venerable Professor Rongchung Dorjinegi, the Vice Chancellor, Central Institute of Higher Technical Studies, Sarnath. Presentation of mementos to Mr. Dinesh Kumar, the Joint Director of the Pradesh Tourism Department. Venerable Nikuni Gyumyo, Mrs. Luan Ki Fong Tao, benefactors of the Mahabodhi Society of India. Concluding this first part of the inaugural ceremony, I would now invite Venerable Chamindra, President and Vice and Vihara Adhipati of the Dhamma Learning Center, Sarnath, to please propose the vote of thanks.
कुछ भी करने के पहले तथागत बुद्ध को नमन, राजा सम्राट अशोक को नमन, बोधिसत्व ललित जी को नमन, बोधिसत्व बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर को नमन, परम पूज्य भिक्षु महासंघ को नमन तथा सदाराम उपासक उपासिकाएं। मुझे धन्यवाद देने के लिए आमंत्रित किया गया है और बड़े बड़े होते लोगों को धन्यवाद देने के लिए बोला गया है और मुझे लगता है कि मैं ये सारनाथ मुझे बिहार है, जितने लोग बिहार है सबसे कम उम्र का बिहार अधिपति मैं ही हूँ। तो इसलिए बड़े बड़े उनके लोगों को धन्यवाद देना तो मेरे लिए बहुत मुश्किल है। मैं इनको संगा नमन करूँगा। मैं सबसे पहले धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा इस पवित्र कार्यक्रम में आज की हमारे मुख्य अतिथि हैं, भारत में श्रीलंका की उच्चायुक्त मनीषी कोरियन मैडम, मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा तिब्बत विश्वविद्यालय के कुलपति महोदय का। मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा वियतनाम की सिस्टर का, उनकी पूरी टीम का, जो लोगों ने पात्र दिया। और मैं इन सबसे ज़्यादा महत्वपूर्ण मुझे लगता है कि धन्यवाद देना चाहिए लोगों ने मुझे बंदे सिकोड़ी जी का। मुझे बंदे जी लगभग 1 महीने पहले ही अपनी इच्छा व्यक्त की कि सारनाथ बहुत महत्वपूर्ण धर्मस्थल है। इस धर्मस्थल पे भगवान ने संघ की स्थापना करी, भगवान ने प्रतिष्ठा दिया। तो बुद्ध बुद्धगया में उत्पन्न हुए, लेकिन धर्म और संघ सारनाथ से उत्पन्न हुआ। सारनाथ इतना पवित्र स्थल है और यहाँ पे एक बहुत अच्छा एक ऐसा प्रोग्राम होना चाहिए जिसमें सारे बौद्ध समाज का सहयोग हो। आप जानते हैं कि छोटे छोटे जी बुद्धगया में इंचार्ज थे महाबोधि सोसाइटी ऑफ इंडिया के। 2006 में छोटे बच्चे जी ने बुद्धगया में त्रिपिटक चांटिंग की शुरुआत करी थी और उस त्रिपिटक चांटिंग में मैं वहाँ वॉलंटियर्स का काम किया था 2006 में। और आज त्रिपिटक चांटिंग पूरी दुनिया में बहुत प्रसिद्ध हो गई। तो जब मुझे अच्छा इधर ऐसे होने लगा कि सारनाथ में भी इस प्रकार के यहाँ पर सूत्र पठन हो और पूरी दुनिया में संदेश जाए। तो निबंधन से चर्चा हुआ और यहाँ पे एक बैठक रखी गई। बैठक में सारनाथ के जितने भी विहार हैं, जितने भी विहाराधिपति लोग हैं, सबको आमंत्रित किया गया। बहुत सारे विहाराधिपति किन्हीं कारणों से बाहर है, जो मैं हमारे अपने प्रतिनिधि थे और सभी बंदे लोगों ने पहली बैठक में बंदे जी को आश्वासन दे दिया कि बंदे जी हाँ होना चाहिए धर्मचक्र पूजा। धर्मचक्र पूजा के लिए फिर यहाँ पे एक कमेटी बनाई गई, अंतर्राष्ट्रीय धर्मचक्र पूजा कमेटी।